All right, welcome to the Zero Hanger TV mailbag where we answer your questions. Don't forget, if you want to send in a question or a hot take or a talking point, hit us up on our socials on Instagram. But let's get straight into it. There's a few to get through today, Mitch.
Plenty.
So first one from Hayden Berretree. Does Jacob Weitering make the All-Australian team?
He might get a squad selection. Be very close. His numbers are obviously solid, and with where Carlton's at, he certainly has a case to make from a contender standing point. A lot of these players, some are flagged. You need to be. If you're going to get compared to one or the other, you need to be among the top branch. The guys he's coming up against, Darcy Moore, who's playing for the ladder leaders. James Sicily, who I don't see not in that team. I think he's one of the first picked. Sam Taylor at GWS, really solid. I think him and Weitering will go close. And the other one maybe in contention is Harris Andrews for those kind of key defender, taller defender options. So I don't have him in my team. I think I'd go with Moore and Taylor and Sicily as a 3. But I'd be shocked if he's not in that 44-man squad.
Yep, pretty solid. All right, next one from Aga. On stats alone, is Harry Sheezel having a better debut year than Nick Daicos?
Stats alone, it's very close. Yeah, crunch the numbers for you, Aga. So just kind of taking in maybe the metrics that really matter for the players in their kind of role, in that halfback, running defender type of role. So disposals, meters gained, kicking efficiency, looked at score involvements and then scoring shots, because every now and then both of them were looking to kind of have an impact when forward and rotate through there every now and then. And then kick-ins as well was a bit of a talking point for both of these players, because they have featured, I think, as the second most common kick-in player at both of their clubs. So this is Daicos last year, Sheezel this year. So disposals, it goes to Sheezel, 26.5 to 25.8. Meters gained goes to Sheezel. Obviously helps when you're taking that extra kick or two. So 432 meters to Daicos' 406. Kicking efficiency goes to Daicos, 71.2% to 69.4%. Score involvements, 4.5 to Daicos, 4.4 to Sheezel. So pretty hard to split those two. And then scoring shots, so Harry Sheezel's had 9 scoring shots this year for 3 goals, 6, so not the most accurate return. And Daicos last year had 14 scoring shots for 7 goals, 7. So 1 for Daicos, you'd say there. And then kick-ins. So Nick Daicos, 51 kick-ins last year. And I think he took all 51 from memory. And then I guess this year for Harry Sheezel, 56 kick-ins, but only took 48. So not the same rate, but that's pretty similar there, I'd say, as far as the amount of disposals they're getting added to their account from kick-ins. So yeah, very close. You could certainly make the case that from a stats point of view, Sheezel's having the better year. If you want to take it a bit broader and talk about the roles they're playing, one was playing for a team that narrowly missed out on the grand final. The other currently playing for a side that's searching for its 3rd win with 2 weeks to go. So that, I guess, would probably work in favour of Daicos, but it's a good debate to have, I think.
Yeah, good question. I think comparing their second years is also going to be quite fun, especially if Sheezel gets more run through the midfield.
Yeah, it'll be hard to rival Daicos' from this year, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so next one from Ari Fitzy1. How good are Texas' chances of winning the Coleman this year?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise one given how old he is and what year he's in, but he's having a career best season in 2023, which is amazing. So he's got 65 goals, 5 off Charlie Curnow. And Texas got games against Adelaide and Sydney and West Coast to come over the last 2 weeks. Curnow has the Suns and GWS. So I think if he's within maybe six heading into the last round, so that's even allowing Curnow to get ahead of him this weekend. I think he's a great chance because he has West Coast. Kicked 10 goals on them earlier this year. Could be a bit like, I think it was like Jack Rewalt in 2012 when he kicked 6 against Port Adelaide to steal the Coleman. Jeremy Cameron did it 2019, booted career high 9 to take it off Ben Brown, who had a 6-goal lead heading into the final round. So could be something very similar from Tex. He's a very good chance. But I'm probably going to tip Charlie Curnow to hold on.
Yeah, I could see it happening though. All right, so next one from Jerome Burton. Freo, this is more of a hot take, not a question, but Freo is the best list for the next 10 years.
It's not a bad shout. They had the most selections in the 2022 under-22 side for this season. So that is saying something when you've got 5 players in there and more than any other club. So they've got some good young talent. Obviously, guys like Caleb Sarong, Luke Jackson, Hayden Young, Jai Amos. I don't think Andrew Brayshaw is even part of that group. So Some great names building in there. They've got some other guys who maybe haven't had a great look this year. Heath Chapman's one, has battled injury. They've got a very good list and a lot of good areas sorted. They've got Amos as their key forward for the future. He's potentially looking at a 40-goal season in his second year. We mentioned Sarong, Brayshaw, and those midfielders. Hayden Young is a great defensive option for them. They probably might not have the younger players for their key backs when you've got Alex Pearce and Luke Ryan, but Brennan Cox is not too young, but he'll be in that 10-year span. Certainly a big part of their future. Freo are certainly a great contender. I think you look at a club like Hawthorn, probably missing a couple key pieces, but they're still very early into their rebuild and already looking quite promising. I think you throw in the Gold Coast Suns with the list they've got at the moment, plus the academy kids coming through, and that's getting better every year. So they're probably three of the clubs I think you'd consider. And then you look at maybe sides like North Melbourne or GWS next.
Yep. Easy. All right, so moving over to some more trade-related questions. So next one from Josh Burden. Who will be traded out of West Coast this year?
It's a tough one. I think it'll be a lot of list cuts. They've got a few guys still off contract that they're probably going to try and shed some weight in. Tom Barras is staying, so that's probably the one that out of all the players, that high-priced players that looked like a chance to leave, he's now staying. They're trying to open up a bit of salary cap room. They'll be pushing for the draft. But I'm not really sure if there's a standout name. Guys like Alex Witherden are off contract, Jack Petrocelli off contract, and aren't from WA from memory. So there's some guys that could be of interest if they're trying to open up more cap space, but they've seen Hearn, Shuey, Nat Nui all announced their retirement. That'll open up a little bit. Barras was the big one. They're holding him. I think there's some guys who are off contract. As far as the contracted top line guys that can get them good draft return, I don't really see any kind of being headhunted. Elliot Yeo maybe, Dom Sheed's probably going to be staying, Liam Duggan the same, Tom Cole the same. So it's a lot of those guys who are contracted that are consistent role players for them. I don't see leaving.
All right. Next one from Sam Wall88. Who are Essendon targeting other than McKay?
I'm not too sure. I think they would like a key forward to kind of match it with Peter Wright. Obviously, they got Coleman playing some good footy. Harrison Jones is, probably needing to see a bit more from him. And Sam Wiedemann, not that he cost a lot, but probably hasn't quite been that player for them. One guy they have been linked to, I believe, is James Jordan, free agent at Melbourne, so he won't actually cost them anything, which is obviously a big tick for them. They're already in the market for, as you mentioned, Ben McKay, another free agent. But while they've got a lot of cap space, it seems like a lot of that attention could be placed towards McKay. They re-signed Mason Redmond. They still need to re-sign Darcy Parish if they can retain him. So a lot of that will go. Would you think if they get all three, that to those three players? But Jordan's one that they've been linked to. I'd like to see them go for someone like Jake Riccardi if they want a key forward to kind of be at supporting third tall or second tall player behind Peter Wright and with Cole Langford.
Yep. So if they don't get McKay, who would they be looking at?
As a key defender, there's a few around. Like I think Rasava Radaglia is one that's been flagged. It's an interesting market now because you've got guys like we mentioned, Tom Barras staying, Harry Himmelberg signing on. You look at it, Tom Duday, probably not the tallest player, but they've got an interesting back few, the Bombers. And then there's guys like Adam Tomlinson, Tom Cleary, who are contracted but said to be potentially weighing up their futures despite those contract statuses. So there are a couple others that maybe wouldn't cost as much as McKay, but then again, he's just a free agent. If the Roos match Essendon's bid, then they're going to have to give up something. So I don't know, maybe they might have a few plan Bs in line.
Yep. Interesting. All right, and last one from Bo Rids. What's happening with Bailey Williams and the Crows?
Yeah, that was just kind of one I think that was flagged over from SA Media a while ago. He's a free agent and he's yet to lock in anything on his future. So door's still open. Obviously, the Crows won't have Paul Seedsman following his retirement. So that kind of flank wing player spot is open for them to move and look to add to. And Bailey Williams would certainly fit that mold. Is an SA boy, so that's probably another area for why they were interested. But nothing really has come up since or for some time, so can't rule it out. But it's as far as murmurs, it's certainly died down.
Yep. All right. Well, that wraps it up for the mailbag today, Mitch. Don't forget, you can send in any questions or talking points or hot takes on our social media and catch all the latest AFL news at zerohanger.com.